Have you had any interaction with them? Do you know anything about them?
Geez,
The Orthodox ones, you know, the real Orthodox ones, the ones up in
pretty
Montreal?
ignorant when it comes to their whole spiel, I guess.
Spiel is a Yiddish word, you know.
Oh, great! There we go.
Yeah. You're using that word.
That's awesome.
That's really good. My son actually, like, his father is like Algerian, so he's half Algerian. So I would actually tell him, like, over here in Montreal, like, there's many cultures, so we have different cultures. Like, that's what's fun of over here, is that everyone's allowed to express themselves different ways. Like, if a Muslim comes, she could wear like her scarf, it doesn't bother her. If Hindu people come with like I don't know how we call that. Yeah, the beady in the head, like, they're free, like, to do what they want. Like, I would explain to him, like, we have different, like, cultures, so that's a different culture, this is a culture, that's a culture. So I would just try to explain, but now he's still too small to understand that. So he's more like into trucks and cars. It's good for now.
How has the city changed?
Well, I think
years?
actually the city is a lot more cosmopolitan.
Okay.
There's a lot more immigrants, and it's a lot more open, I find, than it was before in the 70s and the 80s. I think there was a lot more. I don't want to say racism, but
Go ahead.
You can say whatever you
no,
want.
it's not racism. It's not racism, though. It's not racism. It's ignorance of the other, not racism. There's a big difference. But now there's so much mix of culture in Montreal, and a lot of the immigrants have had kids that are going to school, and I find that there's a lot more tolerance for everyone.
Yeah.
In
What
Montreal
about the language?
than a lot of cities in North America, actually, and a lot of cities in the States that don't tolerate immigrants and stuff.
Have you been kind of self-conscious about your identity since moving to Canada? Especially after 9/11?
I do find that because I've lived in so many other places where I was really I went through a fair amount of racism in France. And in Stockholm, there weren't very many brown people at all. So Montreal is honestly the one place where I don't see the difference. I feel very assimilated. I've had maybe 2 incidents here, and they were just so stupid and so rare that I could just smack them and tell them to get a bloody life and move on, and come out of that fairly unaffected.
First it was diverse society. Everybody was separated. Now it's more like a melting pot. Now you see a lot of Chinese going out with French Canadians. You see a lot of black girls going out with white people.
How did you and your girlfriend, what nationality was she? She was French Canadian?
Yeah.
How did you deal with, being a part, that's probably
I
you
liked
and
her so much I was willing to change. So I tried very hard to learn French.
And did you get any incidents with racism in Montreal going out with her?
I'm sitting on a bench like I was sitting here with my girlfriend, we're talking, and a couple of French guys says, check down le chinois avec le pouton something stupid like that. And I said, the guy thought I didn't speak French. He said, why do you talk to people like that for? Pourquoi tu parles de même? Rien fait de toi, je suis chinois, tu es français. Pourquoi tu... They started bouncing off, and I just walked away. I couldn't take it from idiots like that.
You still experience things like that?
Once in a while, when I work at the bar sometimes they say, how come a guy like you has a French Canadian job?
What does that mean?
What the hell does that mean?
That means why are you working in my job? Why are you taking my job away from me?
What's your answer?
I said, because I work hard. So no DJ would do what I do for if you were getting the money I was making.
I'm not racist or anything like that. I have nothing against any cultures or whatever. But for example, there are a lot of those for Muslim people, and we don't necessarily need them. Why do we have to put those things? And when we go in their country, well, we're forced to do as they wish. We're not capable of living like when they do when they come here.
But they come here leaving something, right?
Yeah.
Now, and they come here and they might still bring their hijab or their
Yeah,
certain
that
customs,
I'm okay
right?
with that. Yeah.
But why shouldn't we accommodate them? What is the difference? How is it affecting me and you if we accommodate them?
Well, there is a limit to accommodating somebody else. There is a limit. There are things that, okay, it's acceptable, and there's a certain point where it disturbs other people as well. We do have the Catholic churches that ring their bells, and also, but I've heard of something where they wanted to put their prayers out loud, and so everyone could hear it around them, because, okay, yes, in that neighborhood it's mostly Muslim, but there are other people that live there as well, and they don't want to have to hear that. It's enough to hear your bell. We don't need to hear the prayers as well. It's like almost as if you're trying to impose it to us.
See, I realize it looking back now. The saying this goes, life can be understood looking backwards, but it must be lived forwards. It'd be nice to have hindsight for foresight, but it's not the way it goes, right? So, you know, just to be able to be exposed to so many different ways of talking, languages, cultures, food, religions, just way of understanding, to go to different people's places and watch how the parents and the kids react. I mean, I was really, I take that for granted now, but this is part of my makeup. It's my DNA now. So, and I'm grateful of that. And I think that culture has helped shape the fabric of Montreal culture in a lot of ways as well. That, and you know, Côte d'Ivoire has always been a wave of immigrants that have been coming in, and then once they get better jobs or they get better education or more opportunities present themselves to them, then they seize those and they move on where possible. Now I think there's a wave of East Asians that are in Côte d'Ivoire, beautiful people from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. So the composition of the immigrants change. It's still the same flow, you know. It's just beautiful.
I was on Quelque show, and I'll tell you exactly when it was. About 1974.
It was only on between 70 and 75, so yeah, that sounds
1974, 75. It was in the fall. Nick off Damara, and what's the other guy?
Les Narenberg.
Les Narenberg. I was with those two. I was with those two. I was with those two. And they asked me some questions which I don't remember right now. That's a long time ago. But the questions were, but I answered whatever I was in, space I was in, then I answered.
Are you still in that same space?
No, I'm much wiser, believe me.
What happened then?
Well, I had a son. I have a son. He's 30 years old.
So
I raised my
changed
son.
your life? How did having a son change your life?
Well, you either grow up or you freak out.
I got it.
And I grew up.
You grew up?
Yeah, it really makes you grow up when you have.
Are you a good dad?
I'm a very good dad.
Is he proud of you?
I'm proud of him, and he assumes that I'm not.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Do you talk to him a lot?
All the time.
So what's the biggest?
I think it's just because I'm his father.
You're not like his buddy or his dad.
I'm his buddy.
So you made the transition from dad to buddy.
No, he was my buddy when he was this tall.
Oh, Mr. Mom.
He was my little buddy.
When you were Mr. Mom.
There she goes. Look, smile. You're on TV.
It's an honor to have like
a
comeback.
Thanks.
A comeback of Quelque show. Thank
Sony,
you.
yes, a comeback from Quelque show
Oh,
in honor of Nick Oftemeyer.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace to Nick.